What's up, EV Clan? Alex Espion here, and welcome back to the next episode of the Pokemon Red Randomizer Nuzlocke, where today I think we're fighting a trainer. Yeah, I got a bite here. So, in the last episode, I said I would be fighting that trainer at the beginning of the next episode. And so here I am, doing what I said I would be doing. But more importantly, in the last episode, we got through, Pokemon Tower. We spent most of the previous episode before that actually doing Pokemon Tower, but we didn't get through it fully in one episode, because we probably could have, if we made it like an hour of power, because it was a 25-minute episode and a 30-minute episode following, to get through Pokemon Tower. But I don't think that 25-minute episode was even dedicated to, fully to Pokemon Tower, because I don't think Pokemon Tower is an hour ordeal. But the point is, we could have gotten all that stuff done in an hour of power, or even less. It could have been one episode, but I just didn't feel like doing a long episode, because I gave you all so many long episodes, and like, maybe y'all don't even like the long episodes. I don't know, maybe y'all don't have time for it. I have gotten some pretty promising views on long episodes in the past, but like, at the same time, I bet y'all don't want all of them to be long episodes, like, because sometimes it's just nice to sit down and enjoy like 25 minutes rather than have to dedicate yourself to a whole hour. I get it. I watch so many YouTubers personally that I see hour-long videos and it just scares me off, because it's like, I'd rather just watch like 4 episodes of Ocean Den than like friggin', I don't know, what's a YouTuber that I can name that does hour-long content? Small Ant, or like Alpha Red Gold, or like some crap like that. I'd rather just like watch a bunch of like Ocean Den by Stampy Longnose than like sit down and watch friggin', I don't know, what's an hour-long video, like, about Small Ant Kaizo Ironmon, or some crap. Oh no, I don't know if that was an hour. I haven't watched that. I don't even know what a Kaizo Ironmon is. I should probably know that, because I'm a YouTuber specifying in Pokemon. But like, I don't know. It's like, I'm kind of tired of watching people be so much better at Pokemon than me, and they're like, oh, Kaizo Ironmon, it's the hardest Pokemon challenge ever, and I'm just sitting here struggling to do normal randomized Pokemon, so it's like, okay. I don't really care. Maybe it's something for later. Maybe it's something I'll eventually try in someday, maybe, possibly, probably not, because if it's really hard, then I probably can't do it. But I know, Original 51 did it recently, but I honestly haven't watched his content in quite a bit of time. Because, like I said in the previous episode, I am just, like, so distracted with this that I don't really want to consume much other Pokemon content than just, like, I don't want to consume Pokemon content because I'm so busy making Pokemon content. Like, when I do a later series that's not about Pokemon, obviously then I'm gonna go back to, like, watching Pokemon videos on YouTube, but for now I'm just taking a break from them because, like, I don't want to be, like, making Pokemon videos and also watching Pokemon videos when I'm, like, on break, you know? Just a small fry. It's like, I really enjoy Pokemon videos, don't get me wrong, but like when I'm making Pokemon videos, it's kind of like, do I want to go from making a Pokemon video to watching a Pokemon video? It's like, no, I want to get a distraction from Pokemon. I want to be like, take a break from Pokemon, just a little one. Be patient. Fishing is a waiting game. I say that, but I did do some shiny hunting earlier today. But like, I haven't beaten Scarlet and Violet yet. Like, that should give you an idea of just like, what I mean by I am staying away from Pokemon outside of this. Is that, like, I know that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet have been out for a while now, and I probably should have beaten them by now, but I really don't care. Like I said, like I said before in, like, previous episodes, I don't really get spoiled on things simply because I do not want to. Like, I make the executive decision, like, just don't. Like, I know which YouTubers would probably spoil me on things, so if I know a YouTuber has a tendency to spoil me on something, then I will just, like, not watch them. Like, I will just dodge all Pokemon YouTubers when Pokemon games come out, because I just don't want to get spoiled. And, like, when they are, like, later on, when that Pokemon game is starting to become old news, I'll go back to watching them. But maybe I won't watch, like, the most up-to-date content, because I'm sure that right now, Original 51 is probably talking about Scarlet and Violet still, even though it's been out for a while. And so that's why I was watching some of his older content recently, because I don't want to get spoiled on Scarlet and Violet. And, like, really, I do think that is just as easy as it is. It's that easy, really. It's just like, you don't want to get spoiled, then don't get spoiled. Just, and I'm sure, like, I don't have, like, Twitter or anything like that. I don't have, like, I don't have, like, social media. I just watch YouTube, so I feel like, obviously, that makes it easier for me to dodge spoilers. I'm sure that, like, dodging spoilers was way trickier in, like, on, like, Twitter and stuff, because on YouTube, people just know, like, don't put spoilers in thumbnail. Like, that's kind of, like, an unwritten rule, and, like, I'm sure a lot of people do, but, like, most good YouTubers don't, I feel. They put, like, fairly obvious, fairly, like, you probably know this already type of stuff in the thumbnail, usually. That one got away. But yeah, like, I typically don't get spoiled by YouTube thumbnails, at least. Like, just spoiler in thumbnail is bad. I hate spoiler in thumbnail. Like, that, if you put spoilers in thumbnails, then you need to stop, okay? Because, like, at least give them the option, like, click on the video if you want to be spoiled. If you don't want to be spoiled, don't click on the video. At least give them that option. Don't, like, oh, the minute they see the video, now they're spoiled. Like, don't put spoilers in the thumbnail, because then you're not giving them an option, then they don't have a choice, then they just see the thumbnail, and then they're spoiled. The Fishing Fool versus Pokemon Kid. Well, I mean, I'm glad you're... I was gonna say I'm glad you're, like, you're self-aware, but, now that I think about it, it's just kind of sad. That's kind of mean of me, I'm sorry, man. Don't call yourself a fool, man. I mean, I guess you kind of are a fool by fishing standards. You call yourself the fishing fool, and now I'm starting to see why, because who on earth fishes up a Pikachu? Honestly, maybe you're just the fishing miracle worker, because I've never fished up a Pikachu. Maybe it takes a whole lot of talent. Too much! Maybe he's not the fishing fool. Maybe it's not that he's, like, fished up a boot or some crap. Maybe he wasn't looking for a fish. Maybe he's just, like, the fishing miracle worker for making a Pikachu appear in the ocean. I don't know. I'd rather be working. Really? Than, like, sitting on a boardwalk, enjoying the sun, by the ocean, salty sea breeze? Man, I guess just doesn't like the ocean. Just doesn't like fishing? He looks like a fisherman, but I guess he's a swimmer. Because that's what the trainer class says. But cuts. Let's go for the cut. Because, oh, Gerald has cut. Okay, yeah, in the previous episode, or maybe it was this episode. I think it was the previous episode. Yeah, it was the previous episode where I was teaching Raticate Swift. And I was like, oh, Raticate already has cut, which is like 50 power, but it has a high chance to crit, so that's actually probably better than Swift. And then I looked at Raticate and I was like, Raticate doesn't have cut. Who has cut? Gerald did. That makes sense, because Gerald is our resident fire-type physical attacker, which means that their stab doesn't align with their attacking type. They are not a special attacker, and yet their stab is special, so we just kind of have to go with normal type moves for Gerald, because they don't seem to be able to learn much else in terms of physical attacks, and their stab just isn't doing it, because it's not physical. Ninetales, what is with Ninetales? I never looked at Ninetales before. Like, I never looked at Ninetales, like, leg. What is with Ninetales' leg? Is it missing a leg? Like, what is going on? You see that? How it's just, like, a nub? I wish I had, like, a mouse or a cursor to point with. But, like, there's, like, the one leg going down into the tail. And then, like, where is the other leg? It just looks like a nub. Like, the other leg got cut off. At, like, the thigh or some crap. I don't know. It looks weird. It looks odd. Like, is the arm twisted backwards behind its head? Is it, like, going under the little tuft of fur on its neck? Like, where is the rest of the arm? Is it just... Like, what happened to Ninetales? Did its arm get cut off? Like, what is going on? Why is there, like, a nub? Why is it just a little stub? What's going on there? Huh. I never noticed that. I'm noticing all sorts of weird things about, like, the sprites recently, because in the last episode I mentioned, like, Pikachu's oddly colored stomach in proportion to the rest of it. But now they're sending in a Golduck, which is bad news for our fire type here, because that is super effective. And Golduck, unlike the water types I've had in the past, at this point, level 21, probably has a water type move. Sorry, keep bringing it up. It's amazing how, like, that joke has just transcended, like, the runs where it happens. Like, at this point, I just bring it up regardless of the fact that I don't even have water types anymore. It's like, I don't even have water types anymore. And I'm still bringing up the water type with no water type moves joke. Why? Because it's just like so I guess it's such an impactful thing. Like, it's the reason why we lost so many runs. Is because just like it's a pain in the neck. Like, I wish we had a water type move right now. That would be great if we had like the special stab that because like most water type Pokemon are special attackers in this game. So their stab aligns with their Pokemon, the Pokemon that they are. And therefore, if they had a special move, if they had stab, it would mean they also have a special move, which would be helpful when fighting a Pokemon that is physically defensive, which happens quite often. It's like, if only this water type had a water type move, really, as long as it had, what if it had anything but a normal type move, so that we could hit ghosts, like, that'd be great. It's like, it led to us losing so many runs, the whole water type without a water type move, that, like, it just became such a meme. It just became, like, the bane of my existence, water types without water type moves on my team. It's the point where now I'm bringing it up even with no water types on my team. It's not easy. It's not easy, man! He gets it. He gets what it's like to have a water type without a water type move. I bet that Golduck he had used to be a Psyduck without a water type move. Like our Psyduck when we first caught it, I'm sure. Because I'm trying to think, okay, Lucy is our Psyduck, yes, because they are level 20 still. That's how I can identify them as the Psyduck. Did they have a water type move? I don't know. No, they did not, because if they had a water type move to begin with, then they wouldn't have Hydro Pump, because we taught that. Like, I was like, did we teach something? Did we teach them Hydro Pump over their old water type move? Like, did they have a water type move? No, because if we taught them Hydro Pump, then it would have just filled in an empty space if they already had a move. So they just had Scratch before, and then we taught them Hydro Pump. So yeah, that Psyduck at level 20 doesn't have a water type move. So that Golduck they have, that somehow is a Golduck, even though it should probably only be a Psyduck, probably, unless Golduck has a water type move at level 20, but Psyduck doesn't. That Golduck probably even doesn't have a water type move. Maybe I guess I was wrong, probably, because, like, if Psyduck doesn't have a water type move at level 20, why would Golduck have a water type move at level 20? That Golduck was a water type without a water type move! I'm sure of it! Anyway, a sleeping Pokemon blocks the way. This is the Pokemon that I was talking about before, which is the Snorlax, which now we should have the Poke Flute, which we should be able to blow, and, yeah, oh. Ooh, man. Ooh, that's a big stupid moment. That's a big stupid moment. Okay. I remember now. No, that was, okay, that was just a situation of me forgetting what the heck I'm doing, and then getting sidetracked, and, like, going down an entire route without having the item. It's the self-scope thing again. I went to Pokemon Tower, realized I didn't have Stealth Scope, and then had to go to an entirely different town. It's like, okay. I talked to Mr. Fuji, he was gonna give me a Poke Flute. I had no inventory space, and then I went to go empty my inventory, never came back, and just left to go deal with the Snorlax without the Poke Flute, because I'm stupid. But yeah, that's what Snorlax looks like. I'm surprised I didn't know what it looked like in this game. I'd never seen that sprite before, which is crazy because that's like, how did I not see that sprite? I watched playthroughs of Gen 1, so surely I have seen that sprite and I just don't remember. But I don't remember Snorlax looking like that in this game, so that's interesting. Alex, your Pokedex, blah 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 blah. We've heard it all before. If you haven't heard it before, then that's because you missed the last episode, guys. And if you did, then you should go check it out. Upon hearing Poke Flute, not the Poke Flute, just Poke Flute. Not this crap again. Upon hearing Poke Flute, sleeping Pokemon will spring awake. It works on all sleeping Pokemon. See, and given that information, I should have known that you can use it in battle, but for some reason, I never knew that until, like, very recently, until I saw someone do it in Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. And I feel like a lot of people, like, maybe they know, but they forget. Like, I just straight up never knew. Like, I think that, like, Alpharad in one of his Nuzlocke, in, like, his Fire Red and Leaf Green Nuzlocke, at one point, like, one of his friends reminded him, like, you can use the Poke Flute here. And he's like, oh, yeah. But, like, I never knew that information. Like, I'm not like normal people, what I'm guessing normal people do, where they just forget it. Like, I never knew that information. I never knew that you could use the Poke Flute. When Alpharad used that Poke Flute in his Fire Red and Leaf Green Nuzlocke, that was news to me, that you could just use a Poke Flute in battle to wake up any Pokemon. It just completely gets rid of the need for an awakening. Like, literally, you never have to buy awakenings again. You could just use a Poke Flute. That's crazy to me. a sleeping Pokemon blocks the way. But now we can use the Poke Flute on it, except we can't just click on it and use the Poke Flute. We have to go into our inventory and use the Poke Flute, because this game is annoying, and it doesn't have, like, prompts yet, where you just, like, click on the tree, and then it's like, would you like to use Cut? You can't just click on the Snorlax and be like, would you like to use the Poke Flute? No, you have to go into your bag, and then select the Poke Flute, which is stupid. Like, why is that not an option? In fact, why would they even make it an option? Just click on the Snorlax and then use the Poke Flute, and then it's like, Alex, use Poke Flute. Like, why does it even have to be an option? Why should you even need to go into the bag? It literally, first of all, you shouldn't need to go into the bag. Second, it shouldn't even be an option. You should just click on the Snorlax and then use the Poke Flute. It should be that easy. It's like, why would you ever not use the Poke Flute? Why would you ever click on the Snorlax and then not use the Poke Flute if you haven't? Anyway, the Snorlax is hacked into Grumpy Rage, which is what Snorlax does. And this is a static encounter, which means we can get this. It is a Gengar! Huh. So, how very interesting. Because it's like, we could call dupes. Well, not dupes, species. Is, like, species a subset of dupes? Like, can you say dupes if it's species? Like, is that allowed? Like, is that, like, good? Is that, like, proper terminology for you to say dupes when it's species? Like, is species a type of dupes? Is it, like, you can call a square or a rectangle? Like, is it that type of thing? Where it's, like, technically it's you could call a square, or you could just call a square a rectangle because it is a rectangle? Is it, like, you can call dupes, you can call species because it's species, but you could also call it dupes because it's, like, a subset of dupes? Is it that type of thing? Is it like a square rectangle situation? Or I don't know. I'm just getting carried away here. But the point is, Rolling Kick probably doesn't do anything because it's a fighting type and it's a ghost type, unless that's different in Gen 1, which I'm sure it's not. So we're just gonna go for the Acid because Earthquake certainly isn't the right move here. That just kills. I don't know Gengar's catch rate. Like, I know that like some fully evolved Pokemon are easier to catch than others, but like I feel like all fully evolved Pokemon are hard to catch. So like, I don't know, maybe Gengar is, like, on the easier end. Gengar feels like it might be on the easier end, but maybe, then again, it could be on the harder end, because it's a powerful Pokemon. Like, it just doesn't look hard to catch, you know? Like, it just looks frail. And I was gonna say slippery, but I guess that means that it would be hard to catch. And that Acid is doing nothing, by the way. Like, he is doing significantly more damage to us than we are to him, which is not good. Because it means we are not doing a very good job weakening this thing. I guess we'll send out Andrew, and go for the Thunder Shock, and just hope it doesn't do too much. Let's hope it does, like, pretty much all his health, but leaves him with, like, just a sliver, because that would be great. Or maybe it does, like, or maybe it does, like, 1/4, and then that would be bad, because then we can only get it down to, like around 1/3, safely. Please say it just does, like, a lot of damage, to the point where it knocks it down to a sliver instantly, or a little bit of damage to the point where you can knock it down to a sliver, get it down to a sliver very quickly. Okay, that's enough. That's like a good amount, because we can get it down to a sliver with that, like, reliably, but at the same time, it's not too much to the point where it's worrying. I don't want to go for another one. I think that another one might kill. So I don't. See, if this was the actual Snorlax, then obviously there wouldn't be any use to continuing to weaken it, because it would just use Rest. But this is a Gengar rather than a Snorlax. So unlike the Snorlax, unlike the battle with the actual Snorlax, unlike normally in this battle where it's like when you're fighting a Snorlax, and it has Rest, you do have the opportunity to just weaken this thing. We can just weaken this thing down to as little as possible, and we know it'll stay there. We know its health will stay there. We know it won't heal back up, because this thing doesn't have Rest. Like Snorlax did. It does. It may have Dream Eater at this level, because Haunter gets Dream Eater. And so I don't see why Gengar at this level wouldn't also have Dream Eater, especially because it, like, this thing was just a Haunter, given its level. Like, obviously, fully, like, a Gengar shouldn't even be in the wild, because you need to trade a Haunter for it to become a Gengar. But, yeah, this is a good amount of health for it to be at, for us to start throwing Pokeballs, I think. We have an Ultra Ball, if worse comes to worse, but I feel like Great Balls should do it. Oh my, okay, Great Balls will probably not do it, given how quickly it broke out of that. That is not a good sign. That does not bode well for us in the slightest. And what else does not bode well for us is how much this Nightshade is doing. Because in just 2 of those, it got, in just like 2 or 3 of those, it got Kyle down to, Kyle from a good amount of health, a perfectly fine amount of health, to just like, oh, I'm panicking. Like 30 damage, over time, like stacks. It stacks up, it racks up. It's like, it's bad if it just keeps doing 30 damage to us. Like that could do a lot of damage to our team very quickly. Like stack very quickly. And also just like the Great Balls are not doing it, man. Like if we had more than 1 Ultra Ball, I think this would be like fine, but I'm hesitant to use the Ultra Ball because it just might not catch. And if we have Pokeballs, I'd honestly like to use those too, like just in case, I'm down to use like all the Pokeballs we have. 8 is a lot. I didn't expect us to have so many Pokeballs. I don't want to go through all of them. What is there another way we could possibly catch this? Oh my gosh, we caught it in a Pokeball. Great Balls are better than Pokeballs, you say? Great Balls are better than Pokeballs, you say? Okay, then how do you explain that one? How do you explain that one to me, huh? Under a full moon, this Pokemon likes to mimic the shadows of people and laugh at their fright. That is funny. Like, okay, Gengar, I get why you're laughing at the fright. That is hilarious, actually. So now we have a Haunter and a Gengar. How odd. Anyway, let's catch this thing. Let's catch this thing. We already did that. Alex, you're about 5 minutes behind. Well, you're like a minute behind. But I don't know how long we were trying to catch that thing, but I don't know if we're on the boy's name or the girl's name at this point. Last one we caught was Lucy, I think, the Psyduck. So now we're on a boy's name. And so we're gonna name this, what do we name the Haunter? The Haunter's named Alice. So let's continue with, let's have the 2 of them, like, okay. You know what? Yeah, okay, let's do it. So, let's go with Albert. And Alice and Albert are actually going to be lovers in context to the series. That's right, I'm making my own lore now. And it's great, and I love it, and don't hate, because I love it. I'm gonna make my own lore. I'm gonna make a love story here. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to expand upon the lore. What? Oh, we're back over here. This is cool. That's cool. I was gonna say we probably need tea for this guy, but for some reason this guard doesn't need the tea. Did we already feed the tea? Did we already give people the tea? I don't know. Because we get the tea in Celadon, right? Celadon? Is that the place with the department store? I think so. Did we even ever get the tea? I don't think we got the... Wait, did we get the tea? Oh my gosh. My brain is, like, not braining right now. Because we should have given the tea. But... I don't remember giving the tea. But at the same time, I kind of do. Like, there's a little bit of a memory in my brain. Like, the slightest memory of a guard sipping tea. But I don't know if that was my playthrough, or that was just, like, me remembering someone else's playthrough. Like, something I watched on YouTube or some crap. Sailor wants to fight. While my brain is trying to wrap its way around itself and try to figure out what I did and what other people did and what I have and haven't done in this playthrough, this person wants to fight, this sailor. It's crazy that we've run into so many sailors in this game. People who should be sailors, rather. And it's only now that we are running into the person that is actually called Sailor. So that's funny to me. So now this Geodude, is it just me or does Geodude in this game look like he has, like, a haircut? Like it looks like hair, the rock on his head. Like, in future games, he just looks bald, but in this game, it looks like a hairstyle. Like, am I the only one that sees that? Because I always see that. Like, I've always looked at Gen 1, look, this is Gen 1 sprite, and been like, he has hair in this game. It looks like he has hair in this game. It looks like rock hair. It looks really cool, actually. It looks like one of those hairstyles where, like, the hair just, like, those, like, boy hairstyles where, like, just the hair goes forward and it's, like, all curly in the front. It, like, is straight down the back and then it's, like, it curls up in the front. Like, it looks like that kind of thing. Like, rather than just bald Geodude like other games, it looks like he actually has hair. It looks like it actually, like, sticks out like spikes that, like, that are, like, hair in the front. Rather than just, like, the baldness of other Geodudes. But, we're learning Dream Eater, which is... I think this is, like, the last move we learn in the entire game. Which is, like, obviously compels me to try to learn it, but it's like, do I really want to though? Because like Nightshade is not like amazing, but it's like, it's reliable damage. I think we're getting rid of low kick. Like, as much as I like that fighting type coverage, it's really not doing crap on Haunter because Haunter's just physical attack is so sucky. I think that the best thing to do here is, yeah, just learn Dream Eater because we have Hypnosis. Like, if it was like we're just learning Dream Eater, then I'd be like, oh, okay. Like, maybe we shouldn't because I don't know if we're ever gonna get like a sleep move. But since we already have Hypnosis, it's like, it's probably worth it. Like, yes, it's like you have to put them to sleep first, so that's like a 2-turn move. But at the same time, that allows us to heal. And Haunter can take hits pretty considerably, so being able to heal with Haunter just sounds great. So I guess we'll learn Dream Eater over low kick. And I think with that, we have no fighting type. We have no fighting type coverage, which sucks. But Dream Eater's probably gonna put in work. Like, I'm fairly sure that this is a good choice. Like, I've never used Dream Eater in a playthrough, ever, because I don't think I've ever used, like, a Ghost type in a playthrough, honestly. I think I went over this in a previous episode, but I can't think of a single time where I've actually used a Ghost type on a main team. And I don't know why. Like, I can't imagine why. Because I've used, like, quite a few different... I've used quite a large variety of Pokemon. Like, I'm not the kind of person... I'm not the kind of person who, like, sticks to the same old Pokemon. It's always, like... It always uses, like, the bird, or, like, the... Like, I don't play through Gen 1 with a Pidgeot, you know? Like, or a Gyarados. I play through Gen 4 with a Gyarados. Unplugged, which may not be, like, that different from what normal people normally do. Normal people do. You normies with your Gyaradoses, or Gyarados-sai, or whatever you call them. I'm the Fishing Guru's brother. I simply love fishing, or love fishing. One of the two. Do you like to fish? No. Yes, I do. I do like to fish. Kind of. Well, not in video games. I've never done it in real life. This is real life, by the way. I don't mean to like make you have an existential crisis. This is definitely real life. This is all real. And when I said real life, I was just talking about my really real life as a private investigator. Whoops, I shouldn't have said that. Like I said, in real life, as a private investigator, I don't fish. But in this life that I'm currently talking to you as an 11-year-old, which I definitely am, and I'm totally not a private investigator, I fish. As an 11-year-old. Not a private investigator. Because I'm not a private investigator. You heard nothing. Grand! I like your style! I don't know what the heck that was! Take this and fish, young one! Thank you, sir. And once again, you are nothing about a private investigator. Fishing is a way of life. From the seas to rivers, go out and land the big one. I will, sir. Not. Lol. Probably never gonna use this fishing rod. Stupid idiot gave me a fishing rod that I'm probably never gonna use, and he was like, oh, fish, young one, you've got this. I probably won't. I'll probably just wait until I get surf and then get the encounters at a higher level, because who needs the rod? The rod is stupid. It gives you like level 5 encounters. Is it a good rod? Is it a good rod he gave me, or an old rod? Because good rod might be better than... I think good rod... Oh, it's super rod. Never mind. I'm using this crap right away. Never mind. He's not a sucker. I'm the sucker here. I just was handed a rod. I was just handed a perfectly good rod and said, yeah, I'm not gonna use it. I'm the sucker in this situation. I was about to not use a perfectly good rod. But, yeah, speaking of using perfectly good things, that's a terrible segue, because that has nothing to do with what I'm actually segueing into. I'm ending the episode here. Failed segue aside, I'm ending the episode here. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Eevee Clan. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And this is Alex Espion, signing off.